Hello, everybody. Welcome back to NF Marsch. We are still in April. It's getting very close to the end of the month, but we've got one more thing we need to do before we sleep, and that's put lime on the barley field that we just planted. I set time down to 1 so that we would be sure and have enough time to do that today. We'll wait until tomorrow to fertilize, and I think we're going to need to fertilize pretty much everything tomorrow. This is going to be a big job. We have 2 very large fields now, and I think I know that our fertilizer spreader, while it also spreads lime, doesn't have a large enough capacity for those fields. It's only 10,000 liters, and we'd be refilling that thing 50 times while we're doing this. So, to that end, we're going to buy ourselves a much larger spreader. And in order to use that spreader, we're also going to need to buy ourselves a truck, which is okay because we're going to need a truck to deliver all of the things that we need to deliver. We're getting a little bit too big for just that trailer that we've been using. So we're going to go ahead and buy a truck now. So let's do that first. Look in the sale, make sure there's nothing in there. Nope, nothing for us. So the first thing we're going to do is buy the fertilizer spreader. It is this one, the MIP Agro Taurus truck. Holds 30,000 liters, has a 36-meter spread, which is really good for a lime spreader. It's hard to find anything that spreads that wide. So we'll go ahead and I'm tempted to lease it, but let's see, what does it cost to lease it? $1,800. Okay, we'll pick that up, but we need to buy a truck because we're going to be using this truck for a lot of different things. I know that this one works fine with our spreader, and it's fairly inexpensive, not compared to those, but I think these may not have quite long enough wheelbase to handle that. These might, but I really don't want to take that chance. I'd want this one anyway, and it's not that much cheaper than the Mac. So we'll go ahead and buy the Anthem that I know works. I don't know, I kind of like it in red. So we can leave it at that. I think 425 horsepower is just fine. We can always up that if we need to at some later date. So we're going to go ahead and buy that. And we have what we need to put some lime on the field. So let's get that done. All right, very good. Now, you'll also notice that I put in a multi-fruit buying station. I don't use these all the time, but for things like lime and manure, things that you're going to need just a bunch of, it's so much easier to buy it from here. And for farm supplies like that, you'd be surprised it's really not that much cheaper than it is buying it in bags or through some other mods. You know, I think fertilizer is cheaper in my 5,000 liter pallets that I use than it is out of here. So we're going to go ahead and fill this with lime. Look, there it is. How much is 30,000 liters of lime? 15,000. So see, it's really not. In fact, that may be more expensive than buying it in big bags. Boy, it listed this truck as compatible, but it doesn't seem very happy, does it? In fact, the tires seem flat on the spreader. So I may be glad that I only leased this spreader and didn't buy it. We'll see how well it works. All right, we seem to be speeding up a little bit here on the highway. Yeah, the tires aren't sunk into the asphalt. That always helps. And then we've slowed down on the dirt again. Apparently we sink into the dirt. I don't get it. All right, let's see how many times we're going to have to refill this thing. Well, we didn't get 100% of the field covered, but we got most of it done. I think we probably got enough done to satisfy precision farming, so we're going to leave it at that. I think I'm going to hang on to this spreader until tomorrow. Although I'm not sure we need this large of a spreader for fertilizer. But we have a shiny new truck, and we're going to sleep, and tomorrow we're going to fertilize that field. We're going to sell some dairy products. I'm not sure if our soybeans will be ready to harvest, but if they aren't, then we can always sleep again and harvest our soybeans. So I will see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It's now May. It has come to my attention that some of my equipment is especially dirty and that I should use my jet wash more. So, to that end, I will wash up some of my dirtier equipment. and get it put away before we start our day. Planters always get very, very dirty. They are down in the dirt doing a dirty job. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna take care of the tractor. I'll stand over here so I don't get the nasty gram. All right, much better. I think everything else is fairly clean. I'm going to go ahead and put this away. Kind of let things pile up in the yard there over the last couple of months. Always much nicer if you put things where they belong. Now, let's see if I can back this past our new truck. I may need to make autosave happen every half hour instead of every 15 minutes. It always seems to come at the worst times. Alright, we got that put away. We're not going to need this tractor for a while, so we'll get it put away. We're going to use the little one. And I think it can just stay on hooked up to one of these trailers over here, one of these tanker trailers. I think this needs to become the tractor that we use to take care of our cows. It'll do pretty much everything we need to do to take care of cows. Got a big load of slurry. I don't know if it's all going to fit. We only have 240 cows out of, I think it's 490. So we need to get some more cows in there ASAP. And we're producing quite a bit of slurry, but we're not producing quite as much milk as I'd like. Well, is there no milk in there? Oh, I wasn't far enough ahead. There we go. There is milk. Thank goodness, because there's no milk in the dairy. We spent way too much on this dairy for it to ever be idle. Wow, this kind of has the sinking tires too. I hadn't noticed that before. We'll keep an eye on it. And so yeah, I think this tractor can just live over here. That's a good cow tractor. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is deal with this. The field across the road, the barley field, says that it has perfect pH and perfect nitrogen levels. So we're not going to need to fertilize that field. I do know that we should lime and fertilize both of these fields, and I may do that later on in the day. But for now, I think I'm just going to park this fertilizer spreader right over here. There we go. We're going to make our next purchase. And you may have to live with some indecision here because I haven't done a lot of looking to see what I want. We'll look in the sale first, as always. What do we got there? Wood transport. We don't need that. So now we want to look at bale loaders. That's the one I'm thinking of, the Krone Profiliner. Universal auto load. It's long. All right, I think that's what we want. 24.9, not a bad buy at all. We're going to buy that. And hopefully this will load our stuff in a way that makes sense. Because so far it really, all of the trailers I've tried just, I don't know. It may be that these containers are, these pallets are a little bit oversized. That could be it. But we should be able to put a bunch of stuff on here. In fact, I may... Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to have to back into here. I don't... Well, I guess I could back out. We'll try that. See how that works. Alright, we got to put some stuff on spawning. And here it comes. And I believe that's everything. And hopefully we can make the turn. Hey, we can. Look at that. Okay. Let's see who needs our dairy products today. Well, it looks like the best place to sell things today is Edeka. So that's where we're going to head. It's over here in town. Kind of where we normally go. Probably should have gone the back way, but I didn't. Gotta drive the new truck. It's very nice. We got a lot on this trailer, but unfortunately I don't think we're going to be able to get much more on it. It just doesn't want to seem to turn these pallets 90 degrees to fit more along the side here. So that may just be something we have to live with. Whoa. Stay on the sidewalk, dude. We can use a little money right now. Always use a little money. Well, we got 188 plus 8,000 in environmental score. So not as much as we have gotten the last couple of trips. I'm not sure why that is. Could just be the price is down. I just looked at what the price is, not what the historical price is. So it could just be that we're in a time where there's a lower price on milk and milk-related items. All right, I'll meet you guys back at the farm and we'll figure out what we're going to do next. Well, I went ahead and spread lime on both of our grass fields because the pH level was just terrible on both of them. So this will help our yield and also help our environmental score. So now I'm going to go ahead and get some fertilizer on there. I'm pretty sure they need it. I got to figure out that spreader that I was using on the Mac. It's got the spread on that's a little different. There we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. Really? All right. Well, maybe it... No, it's taking fertilizer. It's changing color. I'm not sure why I can't hire a worker to do this, but they seem to think that they're finished with their task every time, so... All right, we're going to get the weeds across the road taken care of. Herbicide, I think we can buy from the multi-fruit buying station. And it's not too cheaty of a price. 10,000 for a full tank. Okay. So today's just been kind of a maintenance day. We have stuff we need to do to take care of our fields and to make sure they're in the good shape so we get the highest possible yield we can get. And weeds in a field just looks ugly. And if you let the weeds get too tall, then they show for the entire time that the crop is growing, and that kind of bothers me. So we're going to get these weeds sprayed. we've almost got the weeds taken care of. I'm not sure why there seems to be a wider swath down here that it didn't kill. But I think we can get it all in one pass here. These spot sprayers are absolutely the best. We used about 300 liters of herbicide. And herbicide is not cheap. And I don't even know of any good mods that make it cheap. I think you can make your own, but I think that's also a pretty involved process that, you know, once you add it all up, you figure out that you're really not saving any money by making your own. It's kind of like the first time you made a cake and then sat down to figure out exactly how much that cake cost you. Most of the time, you end up spending about $1 million before you get your first cake. So I have a feeling trying to make herbicide would be about the same thing. Well, most of this episode was maintenance items, but it's all stuff that needs to get done. And even though it's not terribly exciting, it does make the yield better, which in turn makes us more money. So I think that's going to do it for this episode. In the next episode, we are going to harvest some soybeans. And before we harvest our soybeans, we may just buy ourselves a new harvester. And I don't know if that means selling our old harvester and buying a new one, or just buying a new one and using both of them, because we have two fairly large fields right now, and two harvesters may be the way to go. So if you like this episode, I sure would appreciate a thumbs up or a subscription. If you did not like this episode, please post a comment and tell me why. Either way, thanks so much for being here. I'll see you next time.